Now is there sound? Aha! Now there's sound. I can see it. It's been a long day.
PC Truck, I'm reading his lips. It looks like he's saying he has a gift certificate for me for bacon. Oh, Brad, I love it.
Oh, hi, Brad. How you doing? Yes, we are testing out your hearing capabilities on your computers and phones, making sure your speakers work. So I started saying hello to folks in the room, and Wildcat Hollow Farm, Aaron Deck Camping Adventure, Tracy Leap of Faith, Allie Oakley, BB from Spain. I hope I'm saying that right. BB from Spain. Duncan 1900. Hi, Brenda. Geeky Gardens. Brad, love it. Love it when you get a chance to join us. We appreciate you being here. And that's BC Truck I'm referring to. So what's everybody been up to so far this week? We're still getting back in the swing of things after being gone on our traveling adventures. And thought we would discuss just a little bit about OBS today. I've had a lot of people asking, geez, how do you share videos, or how do you share pictures in particular, on a live stream? And I fear that many of those folks are using their phones for live stream. And I got to tell you, I don't know how you would do it with a phone.
Wildcat spent most of the day in the DMV.
Oh,
Farmer Brad's preparing for the HOA.
oh, hiring a farmhand while you're gone. So, how long are you going to be gone? I'm curious. Are you gonna extend and I don't know where you're at, so I don't know how long it takes you to get there. But are you going to be gone for like a week, or just a partial week? I mean, is it? I would imagine it's quite the feat to.
Driving out Thursday.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not quite as bad then, but still to hire somebody to come in and take care of animals and oversee things while you're gone for just a few days is a big undertaking. We know that, yeah. So, how long of a drive is it for you there, Farmer Brad? And while he's contemplating that, this is the subject that I chose to talk about tonight, unless somebody out there would rather have me talk about something else. 8 hours, that's not a bad drive. If you all have something else you would like to discuss, that's fine too. But I chose to speak about OBS for a couple reasons. It is studio quality software that is free. It's multi-platform. It works on Windows, it works on Apple computers, and it works on Linux. It is absolutely a great piece of software. It is a fallback software for a lot of big production companies. Now, having said that, there are companies out there that have emulated OBS. Matter of fact, I think they all have to a degree, and taken their own twists upon that. OBS is open source software, which means there's a lot of collaboration amongst programmers to keep enhancing the software, making it better. And it's free. It is absolutely free. And they just had a release. They just went to 24.0.1 on Windows. It is freshly installed here. Right now, this is the first time I've been using it. That did not cause my vocal glitch. That was a Daryl error. I forgot to slide up the volume control on the mixing board over here. And because I don't have because I'm talking to you and I'm not watching the boards and not seeing the meters, and I didn't realize the sound wasn't going out. So my fault. Ravens Nature Family Farm. Hello. How you doing?
I'm wearing my shirt correctly,
Sherry
the way they have it named. We have to do this.
Sherry has your shirt on tonight. I have generic shirt on tonight. Has no advertisements on it. But Sherry has your shirt on correctly tonight. She turned it around. She spun around inside the shirt. I'm not sure she even took it off. Just spun around inside of it. Maybe not.
Loving Ivy Farm has a question for you.
Loving Ivy Farm has a question. You think it may be better than Open Shot? I personally think I don't think you're going to beat OBS software. Everybody that uses other forms of it or other encoding packages always seems to come back to OBS. Biggest one in particular that's made the biggest splash here has been Streamlabs.
Leap of faith, is OBS a better video editor than Filmora?
OBS is not a video editor.
She's new, she doesn't know.
Yeah, OBS is not a video editor. This is an encoder. This is for doing live streams. This is for broadcasting. Video editors would include things such as Filmora, Power Director, Adobe Premiere Pro, and just a ton of other programs. There's some big name players, but those, I'm going to say the most popular low price is going to be Filmora. For a mid price is going to be probably Premiere Pro. And then a higher dollar is going to be, I said Premiere Pro, didn't I? I should have said Power Director. High price would be Premiere Pro from Adobe, or there's some others, but at that point you start looking at multi-hundreds of dollars per year to have a subscription for that. Farmer Bread, free iMovie if you have a Mac. Well, iMovie is pretty much equivalent to what Microsoft had as Movie Maker, which they no longer package with their software. It's a good basic. And what's the best? Okay, leap of faith. What's the best in your opinion? I don't like Filmora. What is it you want to do, and why don't you like Filmora? Leap of faith. And if you like, I can probably open up a phone line here. If you would like to discuss that. Okay, iMovie is basic, but you can do picture-in-picture. Let me just Filmora, I think, hurt themselves when they initially went to version 9. And I'm loading that up over here right now. And that's what I have on the screen here in front of you. they had an update. They've made some improvements. They now have it where you can render your software within the editor before viewing it back. That was a big mistake they made on their part, in my opinion. But it's very feature rich and it's kind of easy to work with. There's a lot of effects. There's a lot of different transitions. There's a lot of titles. And it's also a piece of software that gives you a lot of music that's outside the YouTube realm that you can use within a YouTube video. Now, having said that, I have had some of those flagged and have had to use the appeal process, but that's always been okayed. It's just one of those irritating little things with YouTube that we all have to deal with. VSDC is another very good basic editor. Final Cut Pro is a higher dollar. That's more on the professional end. VSDC is any program that can take your raw video clips, trim them the way you want, reassemble them, put them together, do some basic transitions, do some basic sizing, maybe some basic speed and a little bit of audio. And if it works for you, it is absolutely a wonderful piece of software. And if it costs you no money, that's wonderful. And if it costs you $150, that's also wonderful. DaVinci Pro is probably one of the top editing programs for doing where you are adjusting your tints within the finished product, or to make a finished product where if you have multiple cameras and they don't record exactly alike, so the blues are not quite the same color or the reds are not quite the same color. Within programs like Power Director, DaVinci Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, those programs all had the ability to go in and adjust the color grading on the various pieces of software that are pieces of film that you're starting with. I'm going to use the word film. I know it's an electronic file, but you have the ability to adjust those and make those look alike so you get a very even result at the end.
Tracy's saying her biggest issue is the video and sound are never in sync.
The video and sound are never in sync, and you're saying that with Filmora? And all right, I have an idea of where you're at with that. All editing programs.
She says yes.
Okay. When you go ahead and produce the video, is everything in sync? Or does a level of, believe me, I understand this, does a level of frustration come up because you want to preview it before you produce it? And that you can't watch it because the voice goes too fast for the video, and I'm guessing that's where you're disappointment comes in with it. With the latest version that they have here now, let me see if okay, right here where I have the mouse, there's a little little button there. So what you can do now when you're going to preview the video is you press that little button first, and it renders the video first so that it plays back properly and it doesn't show out of sync. When you absolutely finish the video, it should be perfectly in sync. Okay. And Wildcat Hollow Farm would like for us to look at VSDC. I can see that. So let me just do it this way.
He sent me the link.
Okay. VSDC. They have a, and the screen's a little bit far off for me to read here, but they have a free version. Let me just increase the size a little bit so I can read it. Create videos of all types. It supports the most popular video and audio formats and codecs, including DVD, HD, and GoPro videos. Pre-configure profiles make the creation of videos for various multimedia and mobile devices a snap. The video editor offers a number of versatile features for both home and business use, text and audio overlay, an array of charts and diagrams, as well as a slideshow maker. Slideshow maker. It's a non-linear editing system. It means that the video files and images do not necessarily have to follow a specific sequence. They can be in various places at any point in time, because all objects can change their properties, shapes, and positions in time. Hardware acceleration, multicolor, chroma key, adjustable parameters, settings, and enhanced resolution make VSDC a real-time and effort-saving tool, allowing for creating large-size, high-definition videos in a few minutes instead of hours. Okay. So let's do something else. Let's see what PC Mag has to say about, and obviously I've not been here. Okay, the pros on this software. Inexpensive free version available, supports 4K editing and output, decent picture-in-picture, chroma key, and transparency tools, lots of file format support, small install size. The cons are, has an awkward interface, can't play preview in the timeline editor, no multicam, motion tracking, or 3D support, no help feature, occasionally unstable in testing. Bottom line, and this is according to PC Mag, if you really don't want to pay much for video editing software, VSDC Video Editor can do a decent amount with your clips, but top products are far easier to use, more stable, and more powerful. And it goes on to state here, if you want just a simple video stitching and trimming, you may not want to spend close to $100 for an enthusiast level application like Cyberlink's Power Director. Unfortunately, if you choose a low-cost option such as VSDC Video Editor Pro, You may get frustrated when using it, although it does have some fairly advanced video editing tools. That's a good part to read. It is one of the least user-friendly applications I've tested in a while by whoever wrote this review. Pro Edition is still far cheaper and most capable video editing software. The version I reviewed. Paid version adds support for more media types, more advanced settings, hardware acceleration, sub-pixel resolution, and audio waveform editing. It also adds premium support and extra masking and chroma keying capabilities. Program runs on Windows XP, SP3 through Windows 10. No one should be running the old unsupported operating systems. Okay. It's a basic editing tool, and it looks to me like it can do a very decent job.
So he's been using it for more than a year and loves it.
Okay. Here's the reason that I personally would not use it. It does not support multiple cameras. Multicam support, and I do a lot of Sherry's cooking videos. We do a lot of stuff where we have multiple cameras going at the same time and integrating those pictures and overlays with 2, 3, 4 sources. Filmora doesn't do it either. That's the primary reason I've gotten away from Filmora as an inexpensive editing software. So, but again, like I say, a lot of people, they just go with what they get on their phone, record it, publish it, and they're off to the races, and they do wonderful with it, and they're happy with it. So it's all up to the individual. Wildcat Hollow Farm, is there any, and don't misunderstand, if this is working good for you, I'm not saying it's bad software. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying it's incapable of doing some features that I would demand out of the software. So I'm not putting down any piece of software. I don't care how inexpensive it is. That's the cons or the reasons that I personally would not use it. I'm betting we could we can probably we can go through some more, but I don't know that we need to do that. I don't want to. Give it a shot. If it's free, give it a shot. If it works well for you, what features? The ability to take video from multiple sources. In other words, I have one phone, a second phone, a camcorder, a GoPro, and they're all shooting at the same thing from different vantage points, and taking all of those and putting them together into a single video so that they match up by time. Okay, well, Wildcat says you can do it, and if so, that's great.
So what about pictures?
All right. Well, getting back to where we were originally heading here tonight.
Yeah, because Kathy's in here and she's the one who asked
Okay, getting to where we were originally in here for tonight. I was going to talk about OBS for doing live streaming. So OBS as a fresh install will look something like what I have on the screen here right now. It should probably come up when you install the software as with a single window in the top, and it has multiple windows here in the bottom. Now I have modified the way that these windows are size-wise on the bottom, so the default would be a little bit different, but the number of windows would probably still be the same. On the far left-hand side, this is what's called a scene. And then the next window over is sources. The next window over I have would be audio mixes, audio sources. And then the next one is transition from one scene to another. And then on the far right is the controls and the settings and so on and so forth. So what you're looking at here is a basic, very, very basic install of OBS to set up to stream with. So the way this works is with the scene, you have to picture in mind what you want your scene to be. Well, you're probably going to want to do webcam. So we'll go into the sources and we'll say a video capture device. Now I can name this, so I'm going to call this to be careful what I'm doing here is because I have multiple keyboards. Laptop. Laptop integrated. We'll say okay. And that's my laptop screen. It has recognized the camera and put it up here right now. Everything is default. Now I can alter that. I can go in here and I can say I want a custom resolution size. If you notice, I took the picture away. Well, my laptop highest resolution is a 1280 by 720. And that's just the best that this laptop camera is. For the frames per second, I'll just say match the output. Video format, I'm going to leave these at default because that's typically what you can do. If you're looking to fine tune for to absolutely eke the most power out of something that you can get into some fine tuning here. But we're just going to go with what it says. And if I go into transform, I'll just say fit to screen. And I have a full screen image of myself. So this is on the laptop computer. And you can see we're in our living room studio here. The fan's blowing, keeping us a little bit on the cool side. And if I wanted to broadcast this, I would go over to settings. And for the stream, I would choose where I want to broadcast it to. And we're all talking YouTube, so it would be YouTube and so forth. I get the stream key out of the stream now area from YouTube, and I have to put that key in here. I would set up the audio. So for, I'd set up desktop audio. I could do that. And I'm just going to press default here. And for the mic, we're going to use the Realtek audio microphone, which is the one built into the laptop. So we'll say OK. So now, if you watch on the center bottom here, it is picking up my voice. That everything I say, it would be broadcasting that if I were connected. Now the problem with this is what you see up here in the top is what you're going to be broadcasting. OBS has a studio mode. So if we press that, you'll get a double screen here. And what this allows you to do is to compose a screen on the left-hand side, and your broadcast screen is what is over on the right. So just for example,
Okay, hold on, Royal Amethyst Acres, I'm getting a webcam ordered on Thursday. Do I need to buy a mic set up like you have shown?
no, you do not. No. I don't know what webcam you're after. I would, Logitech makes a couple very good ones. They make a 920 and a 922. Those are both very good webcams. They both have very good sound. If you would like to perhaps enhance the sound of the microphone, you can certainly buy a better mic. These are the microphones that Sherry and I use here. These are Shure studio quality mics. I also have a mic that we use when we do our live streams when we're out, which is it's a Yeti. It's a Yeti Blue, and that's a USB mic. These are not USB. See, I run everything here through a mixing board. And let me just see if I can. Let me see if I can show you very quickly. Just add existing.
Mike, I need to figure out how to use my Canons for live stream with OBS.
Okay, it's a little bit on the dark side, but I'll run this across. This is the mixing board that I use. And I have all my connections running into the top here. I have all of my sound is separated out inside the computer so that when we do a Skype connection, it goes into just one line over here. When I do a connection for the phone, that goes into a separate line. If I'm playing music as a background thing, that goes into a separate line. That's the reason that I set this up like this. But this is a lot more than what one would have to use, have to mess with. Your first step of increasing, I'm going to say, the usability would be a webcam. And I would recommend a Logitech 920 or 922, whichever one you prefer. They're both excellent cameras. They both have good sound quality.
Royal Amethyst says she's ordering a Logitech webcam.
Okay, those are both the two models that I just mentioned are both Logitechs, 920 and 922. And they do an excellent job. and they travel well. We've hauled ours around, and when we go do the live streams at the meetups, we're using the exact same webcams as what we're using here right now. I have one right here in front of me that I'm looking up at you folks in. Sherry has one in front of her over there. I have another little one over here to the side that I just showed you with where I showed you the mixing board. But we'll get back to we're going off on tangents here. So let's go back to this, and I'm going to create another scene. I can name it anything I want. By default, it just goes to scene 2 because by default there's always has to be a scene. But let's call this one pictures. And I guess what I should do is use the right keyboard. Here we go. So for source, I'm going to say, let's set this up. I could set it up as a single image. I'm going to set it up as or I could set it up as a slideshow. So
Good video editing software for Linux.
there is, but I can't recall the name of it right off the top of my head. Grandpa's, can you remember his channel name? The one from up north, Grandpa's Farm or something. We've had him on the live stream. He uses Linux and has some good good programs. Of course, if you're using Linux, I shouldn't have to tell you about going out and getting software. Good heavens. If you're already so far off the path as to get away from Windows and Apple, all right, so if we do an image slideshow, I'll just leave it named that. We'll say okay. So now I have to go and wish I could make this bigger. Maybe I can a little bit. All right. So what this does, it has has some default settings, which is the always play even when not visible, which means will it play in the preview window as well as the production window. The slide mode is set to automatic. Transitions with a fade. It has default settings for the amount of time it's going to show the picture and the amount of time between pictures for the transition time. And it has it set up as a loop mode, or if you just want to show one time through. But you can go in and you can pick out a directory or pick out image files one at a time. So if we go into just add files, let's just jump into okay, these are all pictures. And I'm just going to select them all. And you can see over here on the left, that's how it's come up. So I've selected all those pictures and we'll say okay. And this will just continuously loop and rotate through. So right now I'd be broadcasting myself, and I'm going to say, all right, take a look at these food pictures. I shift that over. Now this would be broadcasting. Now if I want myself to be included in this broadcast, the way I would do that is I'd go back to my picture scene over here, and I would have to add a source, and that would be from a video capture device. I already have one, which is the laptop integrated webcam. I'll say OK. Add existing. Did I click it right? There we go. Okay. And I can resize this. Which is similar to what you have seen here. So now, when I'm ready to broadcast that, I can just slide that over, and I'm overlaid over top of the moving slideshow pictures. I can also let's create another one. This one, we'll call this one video. And so video, that's not an image. That would be a media source. So a media source, I'll just leave it named media source. We'll say OK. Go browse to the video. Well, this was the video I made for the live show last night, so I know I can use that. It doesn't show up here yet. If I uncheck this, show nothing when playback ends, that means it'll come back. I can set it to loop if I want to do that, but I'm not going to do that. We'll say OK. So now if I move it over here, the video is going to play. And if you notice at the volume bars underneath here in the center of the bottom, let me move it back. Right now, desktop audio is here because I created that. The microphone is there. And the laptop introduction is here because it's still over there. We just moved it back. But this laptop, the media source, is playing this video. So this is how I know what's going out. But this this promo that we made for Prep Center Bob, I think this is a pretty good example of some of the things you can do with Power Director, where you're merging different sources. You're overlaying them. You're controlling the brightness on the picture and trying to smooth it out. And then, of course, we'll go back to here's your images. And again, you're here in the middle. And we can come back to just a full live stream. So I can create scenes with different individual pictures that I can just bring up here on the left-hand side. And when I want to bring them over to show folks, I just transition them. I just move them over. There are settings in here where if you double click on it, it will automatically move. I don't have those set up. I prefer the manual here. But that's I am able to show you this because I'm doing this on another computer that's not actually being broadcast out to the web. If I tried to show you on the computer that I am broadcasting with, it goes into a recurring loop inside of itself. It's like looking into mirrors that you see the reflections, it just go on forever. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller and goes down. And so that makes it a little tough. So, but by doing this, by picking this up off of a different computer, I can show you exactly how we build these and different things you can do. So, did this answer the question, do you think, to somebody that wanted to know about showing pictures on a live stream? Jerry?
I'm finding out.
Oh, you're finding out. Okay. All right.
Joseph did for him.
Okay. Good.
OBS is free, Kathy.
Yeah, OBS is 100% free. Is Daryl hungry or what? What's going on here?
Because all the pictures of the food.
Oh. Well, no, that's just what I happened to grab. We can go back and change that. Let's do this.
Can you use multiple sources from the same computer, such as 2 different windows?
Yes, absolutely, you can do that. That's what I'm doing right now with what you're seeing. My primary computer that I'm using here, that I'm doing the live broadcast on, has 3 monitors, 3 windows. I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. And on that, I have, on the left screen, the far left monitor, I have OBS Studio up. I also have these other things that we looked at. So that's all over on the far left-hand screen. The center monitor is where I have your chat up that I can see. So this is the actual YouTube live stream. Now, the far right is where I have the screen where I have OBS playing, where I can watch and see what I'm doing there. Now I have other things set up. For example, we have Filmora 9, even though I have Filmora 9 minimized. Now, when I minimize it, you can't see it. There we go. But I have a separate screen for Filmora 9, so I can have that in addition to the screens. And then the laptop that I have down below, I typically have 2 monitors on it. Right now I only have 1, but I have a connection between the 2, and this can also be done with OBS, but I happen to have a physical connection between the 2 that allows me to capture what is on the laptop screen, and that's what I am showing you here. This is what's on the laptop screen. We'll get rid of these. All right, so now let's,
Do you need to prepare your pictures ahead of the live stream?
no, you don't need to. However, you need to know where they're at. It takes some time to do this. I mean, you get better at it as you do it. But just for example, when we're doing our Monday Night Live and we're doing the call-in, and I can have numerous people calling in, I'm watching the input for the callers calling in. I'm watching the Skype connection. Sherry is handling the chat and chatting and keeping the chat going and the flow of the stream. And I typically duck out of the window. I'll turn my monitor off and back out of the window so that I can just concentrate more on the monitors over here and keeping everything flowing on my end to make the production better for you folks out there. Because it does take a little bit of time to do it, but it's not that bad. If you just got a couple pictures to do, you can do that.
Carrie wants to know if you have enough computer or monitors and computers.
No, no, you never have enough.
That's what I said. You know what his answer would be.
No, never have enough.
Exactly, Geeky Gardens. Techies never have enough.
Now, another thing you can do, if you have multiple monitors, is you can have and let me just do this here real quick. All right, with multiple monitors, and I've brought this up on my far left-hand screen, if you wanted to do it in this fashion, I already have the OBS set up on my broadcast rig where I'm down in the lower left-hand corner. That's what you're seeing here. So what I have up here is just the photo default app that comes with Windows into a directory that has the pictures in. So I can come up here and I can show you the next pictures that I have in this directory. And by just closing this program, then you can see I just had it open up on top of the OBS Studio. So that's another way you could show your pictures with multiple monitors. It makes it easier. And that would be much quicker than perhaps setting it up into a scene with a source. Because you're just using your source as the monitor, and then you're just simply displaying what you have on that monitor. So that would be a very quick, easy way to do it. And then, of course, we also have things like this.
Introducing our newest line, Thrive Life Snackies. We've packaged some of our healthiest, tastiest foods in convenient bags you can take anywhere. Strawberries, peaches, apples, mangoes, sweet corn, yogurt bites, and more, including a new product, Coconut Bites. Enjoy a Snackies box of 5 to 8 of your favorites for as low as $19.95. Snack food doesn't have to be junk food. Thrive Life Snackies.
They should have.
It's loud.
It was too loud? Okay, well, yeah, they did, but it's over now. See, it was loud to get your attention so you run right out and get some of that Thrive Life stuff from us here. Anyway. Oh, it scared everyone there. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me try this one. Okay, so one of the reasons I wanted to play those two commercials there, that's you can make your own commercials for your own channel for anything. You could make a commercial for your shirts and just do it out of pictures. If you notice, especially on that second one, it was all pictures. There was nothing difficult about that. It was all done with a typical editor. And I think probably any of the editors we talked about earlier would be capable of doing that. So, do we have any other questions on anything? Well, and wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm sure Sherry will be in touch with you. Almost lost me. I thought I was too big to lose. Okay. Anybody else have any questions or anything else that they wanted to maybe see how to do with OBS Studio? I mean, we just barely scratched the surface. And I'm going to look a little bit stronger at this other editor that this VSDC. Cajun Homesteaders, I'm better late than never. So thank you for stopping in.
Geek Gardens, don't know enough yet to know what to ask.
There's no way you can force YouTube to do anything.
I'm surprised she's not seeing them.
And I don't know. Some people see ads. All of our videos, almost all of our videos are monetized. However, having said that, I don't mind showing this. Let's see here if I can. They made it green. Okay. At the beginning of the stream here tonight, I looked, and the live stream that we did last night with Prep Setter Bob was flagged as not being friendly to all advertisers. So it had the big yellow icon on it. I don't know why. I'm sure that this one will probably receive the same treatment. Then I have to go in and I have to appeal it and ask for a manual review. And then sometimes in 24 to 48 hours, they'll go back in and change it. Sometimes it takes them a week or more. I don't know. We've run into one of these, what do they call that, where you just kind of stumble, you can't get any further? Our subs have flattened out,
Hit a brick wall.
hit a brick wall.
Is there still music on?
No,
Okay. They may be lagging then.
no, there's no music. If anybody out there is hearing music, it's not coming from us. So it's,
Yeah, Ahmed did it. Got that right. Oh, Lord. Oh, God.
and I see smudges.
Jason's a hoot. Yeah. Yeah, see, Brenda brings her own brick wall. Yeah. Smudge is still laughing. From the land of Ireland.
Well, hello, Bo Star from the land of Ireland. Thank you for stopping in. I can't hear you as good as I should be able to.
Yeah, BB's still lagging.
I don't know why that would be. The volumes look pretty good here without clipping. I can turn it up a little, but I hate to do that too. So
Bandana's making mittens. She thinks it's going to be cold next week.
well, maybe it is up where she lives.
No, she'll be at the HOA.
Oh, she thinks it's going to be cold at HOA.
Last year, she sold out. She had those.
That's right, she did.
Had those wool mittens.
That's right, she did.
Kaylee still wants mine.
All right. So with that, I suppose it's time to say adios. Yeah, last year she had no mittens left.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Which was good for her.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we've never. Is our stock too much? We've never sold out of anything. No answers. But if any of you would like T-shirts, just send us an email. We'll fix you right up. Okay. Everyone have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week. We're going to be here Thursday night. We'll be here Thursday night. We'll try to do a couple. We'll do some channel reviews, some looking over your channels if you'd like for us to. Keep in mind, all we're trying to do is to try to make it a little bit easier for you folks, that to give you a source to maybe ask some questions that you want to know, and by listening you can maybe pick up on, make it easier for you to do things that otherwise would be a little bit tougher to overcome. So, folks, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we will see them Thursday. Night, everyone. Bye-bye.